All right, greetings everyone. So I'm just going to go over how the app works for the Powerwalls. There'll just be a screen overlay on the corner part. I'm on my phone currently here with it. So I'm just looking at the Powerwall app. Currently there is a vehicle plugged in and that's displayed on the app. We've got 1.5 kilowatt of solar currently being generated. The Powerwalls are sitting at 28% and they're pulling in 1.3 kilowatt. Now, earlier videos that you saw in the lead up to where we are now, you saw I had the kettle on and the car was charging at the same time. So the Powerwalls are able to do a continuous load if you have two of up to 10 kilowatt output, continuous. If it's a single unit, it's up to 5 kilowatt continuous and 7 kilowatt peak. This is for the Tesla Powerwall 2. So in the app, what we can see here for data is if we click on energy, and then this is pulling up what we've used for the month. It's currently selected down the bottom there for sunshine tab, so that's the one on solar. You can see here that the house has consumed 129 kilowatt hours of energy. The vehicle stats, there is currently a bug in the app, which is merging my home usage with the vehicle usage, and it's not 100% correct, but hopefully we'll get there. 492 kilowatt hours has been used by the Powerwalls, so that's a pretty big chunk. And when you go back to home, so that's the house using solar energy before it's pushed into the Powerwalls. So very impressive to see that the Powerwalls have taken quite a lot of that excess energy that would have otherwise normally ended up down the bottom here, which is grid. So that's all our excess. 65.1 kilowatt hours has gone back into the grid. If you can hear that noise, that's just my dog Panda snoring. Normal. We'll progress on here. So the Powerwall tab here. So this is giving an overview of how much energy flow has come into the home, how much has gone to the grid, how much has gone to vehicle. And down here, so those Powerwalls, this is just the Powerwall system, 492 kilowatt hours has been generated and stored purely from solar, and only 33.7 kilowatt hours has come from the grid. So if you are a Powerwall owner, so I'm up to day 40 or something, and sorry, 45 plus, and we've well, for me, my wife probably is not into this nitty-gritty bit thing. It's just kind of in my head for it. I'll generally look at a weather forecast and make a decision on a forecast for the next day. If we're going to need more energy and we want to use it later, then I will schedule the Powerwall, set a different reserve rate. And there's third-party apps that can connect to the Powerwall. We've got Net Zero, which is a great app. It's completely free. You can support the developers for that if you wish to. Net Zero will connect to your Tesla account, and it will allow the API for them to run commands at certain times. Unless you're interested in waking up at midnight and then changing those commands in your Tesla app, I'd probably prefer to have it automated to a degree. So to go back to weather, we might look at an overview for Friday, and maybe it's 90% rain. You're not going to generate much electricity if we've got that much rain. So you're going to be smart about how you're going to use this system to your advantage. That's my understanding. That's how I'm currently doing it. And if you are in Queensland and many other states around Australia, you will see that there's a off-peak tariff for electric vehicles. There is no issue whatsoever currently at this stage utilizing that off-peak tariff to charge your Powerwalls when energy is at a cheap rate. So for me in Queensland here, we have electricity at 8 cents per kilowatt hour between midnight and 6 a.m. And then after that window, we're going to be buying the power for 30 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you want to charge up your Powerwalls in that window, and you know that your weather forecast is going to be absolutely horrible, if you want to save money on it, you're going to be charging up the Powerwalls, maybe not all the way up to 100%. Maybe you only want to do it to, in my case, I sometimes do it to 30%. and then the excess solar might top us up, and then we might finish the day and I come home and we've got 60% in the Powerwalls. Depending on how much you're going to forecast, you're going to play this game where you work out how much energy do we need for the house to get us through. And for me, I can confirm if our Powerwalls at around 30% and I don't charge any of our electric vehicles, I need to do, have a shower, we've got heat lamps going on, me and my wife will cook dinner, we might use the air fryer, we might use the oven. All those appliances are going to use some of that 30% left in your Powerwall reserve. Then after you finished all that, you got your dishwasher. Are you going to put that on as well? Do you want the Powerwall to use that energy as well? So you can be smart about it all. It's all just a learning curve. And with the Tesla app that you're just looking up there on the corner, you can go back and see individual days. So if we go to day, so you can see here for today, there's only been 3.1 kilowatt hours discharged. 3.1 has been charged. That's for the Powerwall. But if we go to Home tab here, you can see here, so the Powerwalls have consumed 3 kilowatt hours, so that solar energy has gone to those Powerwalls. 1.6 kilowatt has bypassed the Powerwalls and come straight into the house. We haven't used much power at all. Yeah, so that's what the Powerwall app looks like in there, and you are able to change displays. We can do a lifetime, and it's going to give you a lot more stats. I'm just going to go over the impact setting in the app. So this will show a lifetime impact of what we've done. Now, I'm just bringing up the stats here. So we've got 81% self-sufficient, which is amazing. 19% from the grid, and this is the lifetime stats. You've got a saving there of $216. Now, for those that want to maximize their return on their Powerwalls, if you don't want to worry too much about self-consumption and you're going to shift your usage more to the off-peak and then sell electricity back when the grid needs it, that's fine. You can do that. You'll definitely get a good return quicker on that. But at this stage for me, on my system, we are not on any virtual power plant. We are just all about self-consumption. Solar offset here. So there's over 1,090 kilowatt hours of solar that has been generated. And the home's used it all. Go down here to grid outages. So there's only been 4 events since we've had the system, and that means that's the other benefit of the Powerwall, is that you don't have a blackout. So if there is a big storm and they've got power lines nearby, you don't lose power in your property. You still have power. Your fridge, your freezer, all those basic things that you rely on in your house are still powered. Maybe there's a really important football game and you really want to watch that, not on your phone. You want to watch it on the big TV. So that's the impact that we've currently done on our system. So the other thing here, you've got settings such as go off grid. You can experience it, and if you do that, then the house will automatically go on it. It's telling you there that some of your lights may flicker. Don't need to do that. Settings. So in the settings, the main one that we're going to look at here is Powerwall. So backup reserve for me is currently set to 0%. We need a lot more sunnier days for me to get my system back up to the top. Generally, Tesla would recommend to keep that to 20%. I might just set that there just to make it happy for now. Having other options there, such as time-based control, you can set those figures in your Powerwall and it can be smart enough to charge from the grid if it detects that you are at a lower state of charge, and it will do that during off-peak rates. I've just got mine to self-powered. I just manage it that way. The other option is here in advanced, are you allowed to charge from the grid? And we say yes. Our usage from the grid, as you saw in the graphs previously, is very low. It's hardly anything that we get from the grid. Majority of our electricity is stored and generated from solar. So when I hear people going, you have an electric car, and you say, yes, I have solar, you're like, oh yeah, but when you come home, the sun's down. So if you're gonna want to counteract that kind of argument, the only way to do that is by having batteries for your house. Okay, so that's the Powerwall app. Pretty basic and gives you all the information that you need to see right there in the app. It's fantastic. And because it's a Tesla product, they continuously improve, add new features, make it better for the end user. So I'm really excited. Just like the vehicles, there's always features, different things come to your car. My car's 3 years old. I now have features in it such as the adaptive headlights. That's amazing. None of those features were there when I first picked the car up, but as time has gone on with software updates, fantastic. Now I'm just going to go over, I did question some people on the Facebook group this morning saying, does anyone ever have any questions for me? Like, what would you write as some questions if you have some? All right, so Alan here in our Facebook group, he's asked, which one is better, the Gen 3 Powerwall, or do you reckon the one that you've got is better? So Gen 3 is shipping in the US, parts of Canada at the moment. There are some houses that have got it now. I'm not fully aware of all the specs on it. All I'm aware of is that there's no gateway that has to be installed next to the Powerwall. It's all just in the unit itself. As far as I looked at it, back when the government had a rebate in Queensland, there was up to $4,000 on the table if you wanted to get a Powerwall installed. You could get a rebate from the government. So I went with that. And that program with the government included the Tesla Powerwalls. And I just said, well, I've already got the cars. I've already got the wall chargers. We're going to add the batteries to the property. We'll just be in the Tesla ecosystem. You speak to someone else that has Apple products, they'll do the same decision. The other question that Alan has asked here is, how much has it helped on your electricity bills? Did it do a magic trick? So I can share with you that our usual energy bills are usually around $180 to $211 per month. And at this current point for the month of May, usage charges are under $12 for the entire month. We need to add an additional $28 there for the month's supply charge figures. It's around 28, it could be 32, something like that. But the main thing that I'm looking on my usage is that each day we've got roughly around 5 cents coming from the grid of usage. Sometimes it's $1.30, very low. If we were just solely using off-peak times in the grid, sometimes our power bill per day was around $10 to $15 per day. And with the help of Powerwalls, we've been able to minimize that to such a low figure that I could confidently say grid usage reduced by more than 90%. Someone asked, how long does the Powerwall last? So Powerwall, how long it lasts in terms of capacity is how much you utilize that battery. So we have 2 Tesla Powerwalls, so that's 27.5 kilowatt hours of usable energy. And if you think of the Tesla cars, if you have the standard rear-wheel drive Model 3, which would have close to around 50 kilowatt hours of storage in that one, if you come home at the end of your day and you've driven, let's just say, around 80 kilometers of drive, you'll probably find that you've used close to about 10 to 12 kilowatt hours doing that drive. Maybe you've even used less. So for me, over the last 45 days, I've been able to work out, if the Powerwalls are at 100% capacity, then my wife's car, and she does roughly 80 kilometers Monday through to Friday each day, we can safely use the Powerwalls to charge her car, have self-consumption for dinner, dishwasher, washing, and come out at the end with the battery sitting at about 10% or 20%. It really just depends if we're at that benchmark of the batteries have been charged up to 100% before the night draws. Warranty on the Powerwall 2s. So Powerwalls come with a 10-year warranty. You have a what is it, a possibility to extend that up to 15 years if you join Tesla's own virtual power plant. So they will extend that warranty because your battery is going to be cycled quite more often, charged up as well more frequently. So someone else going here, if you get 30 days of continuous sun, you effectively don't pay anything from the grid except for your daily connection fee. If you have a decent solar system above 5 kilowatt, you should be able to feed the excess solar back into the grid and it should cancel out your daily supply charge. I like this. This is coming from a guy named Chris on the group. So he goes into great details. I won't go too further into that, but what he's saying is spot on. So if you are considering a Powerwall, I would definitely say it was worth it. It is a bit of an investment for your property. You can always look at it as, what will the price of electricity be in the next 5 years? Will it be cheaper or will it be more expensive? As far as I'm concerned, the sun is going to be around indefinitely. The sun is not disappearing. We just don't want too much of the rain and the bad weather, which would ultimately mean we have more reliance on the grid. You want to try and have less reliance on the grid. That's what I am under the impression on. If you want to support the grid, you can do that, and that's through the virtual power plant. I hope this video has been quite informative. I know it's probably run a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I don't think you can really wrap up these kind of things in under, a 2-minute clip. Yeah, I just wanted to do a video explaining how I've gone, and this is the video that I've got. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, thanks for all the support.